So we just got out of seeing Midsommar again, and like the sunlight and everything is perfect as it is right now. But so this is gonna be spoilers, but this was my third screening. This was your second screening.
Oh yeah.
Cousin Dominic's manning the camera right now, and this you took some notes, right?
Yeah, I took a few notes. I took a lot of mental notes.
I'm just gonna jump ahead. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Okay, I think it's the most visually stunning horror film that I've ever seen, and like the narrative is something that like it's so dense and it's so bonkers and so detailed. Even like the sets give way to the narrative, you know, or paint the narrative, if you will. But yeah, the narrative is so dense that like I get lost in it.
Right.
Especially because it's presented to me in such a bizarrely immersive way, you know? He was saying how, you know, I can't remember if he was talking about Hereditary or Midsommar, but he was saying how he wanted the film he wanted you to feel the film, you know, as opposed to any other initial way, you know? Like feel it on like a emotional level, you know what I mean? So it kind of makes you feel like you're going to Horga, whether I think it's like the village or whatever that they go to, which was completely made by Ari Aster. You know what I mean? I just can't like it. In the first the opening to the film sounds like Brent, come over here for a second. The opening. Well, we could probably pause right here for a second. But the opening to the film makes me feel like I'm an alien who's in like a spaceship that's like just crash land onto this strange part of the world that I've never seen, with a color palette and vantage points that I've never seen before.
One thing I have to add in, seeing this a second time, it's not like I said when we...
It's like an experience. So every time you watch it, it feels...
It's not like... Because usually when I watch a movie for the second time, I'm just like... even if I love the movie, I'm kind of like... You start seeing the same parts over and over. You kind of want... There's a part of you just kind of want to skip to the end so you get the fuck out of there.
Right.
But this movie, it's different. It's like... And there's a lot of things I didn't see the first time.
Right.
There's a lot of reconfirmations that I saw the first time that got reconfirmed. But...
Right.
Again, just like I said the first time, this is so far. I'm not gonna say it's the best horror movie I've ever seen because I can't drop it in there.
It's so crazy that this is a horror film. Like to me, I was just you know, I'm gonna pull it up what I sent Natasha, but you can keep going.
I can't put it in just a horror genre because it's so. It's so like it's something else. It's too many different things. For me I feel like I would be misinterpreting it or misrepresenting it if I put it in one genre. I can't do it. I can't.
It's not just horror. It's like it's a black comedy. It's It's so it's like a horror film. It's like a black comedy. It's like actually. Hold on a second. I wrote down the perfect description that I sent to Natasha. By the way, Natasha, if you're watching this, got my eye on you. But basically, yeah. So I told her it's Ari has achieved the unthinkable.
Right.
A psychedelic daytime horror film based around a crumbling relationship, literally transportive cinema. That's what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? We should get by this poll. Transportive. It transports you to that fucking village. It makes you feel like you're there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which that's so insane to me. Like it's like a Technicolor nightmare. It's like it's like an evil Wizard of Oz by way of Ari Aster, you know. He's referred to it as like a fairy tale, you know.
Right.
Kind of like in the same way that Guillermo del Toro has referred to Pan's Labyrinth as like a fairy tale.
It has almost like a Dante's Inferno type. It has 3 transitions from what I've seen. It's like the beginning is like it's dark in the beginning.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Oh my God! So it opens, not to cut you off, but it opens, the opening image, in my opinion, is a map of the entire film in terms of the plot.
It's an atlas. It's an atlas of the film, basically.
Yeah. Like, because like on to the left, you see like the skull, and then you see like how the 3 family members died from like the hoses, and they got gassed.
Right.
It's so wild. But then the sun, the way that the sun is in that painting,
it's smiling.
Not only does it's when I watch this movie, it's like a trigger. It's so creepy, right? It's so fucking creepy. It's just hard to. And then it splits open.
Watch this one.
And then it's the woods, snowing.
The character at the end, when she smiles, she has the same smile that you see at the beginning in that painting that the sun has. So it begins with that smile. It ends with that smile.
I just, that's just weird. But, yeah, when it gets to, we're looking at the wilderness, it's snowing, and then boom, we're seeing some urban neighborhood that could be anywhere. It's like, what the fuck? It's like we're being pulled into literally a new world that we haven't seen before. At least not from this vantage point, just call it blah blah. Man, a daytime horror film.
Oh yeah.
What? The part with the mallets, right? Yeah, when they well, first off, shout out to the 2 people who jumped, like shout out to their performances. I mean, all the performances are airtight and just rock solid. Florence Pugh is like phenomenal.
I love her
in this film.
I love her again.
I've never seen her before prior, but she was like unstoppable, like unspeakably good. Like, it was just ridiculous how good she was in this film.
She's like,
I'm calling it now. I think she's gonna be in a Christopher Nolan film, but
she's like an upgraded Jennifer Lawrence, and there's no dish to Jennifer at all. But
yeah,
that's just look wise, that's what she looked. But acting wise,
right?
Jesus,
right.
You feel the anxiety she has, and it's believable and it's reasonable.
Right. Yeah, we should just walk down this way and maybe circle back. But no, she was stunning, This review's gonna be all over the place like normal, but there's an image. So like at the end when she's in that big gown and that crown that's made out of all those vibrantly colored flowers and shit. And like there's a moment where they ask her to choose whether to kill Christian or to kill someone else in the village. And like this is weird, like sad, cryptic expression on her face, and like the she's like almost impossibly lit and radiating, gorgeous colors and like that bizarre look on her face, that's like terrifying but kind of humorous in a way. It's just absurd as fuck, but like just that shot is like my favorite image from the film. It's just so
it's like she finally got to breathe. She's been trying to breathe this whole movie.
Right.
Couldn't get air.
Oh yeah, and then when she smiles at the end, I know there's been a little bit of back and forth debates about this, but to me, I felt like she was smiling because she was finally relieved, and I felt like she stayed there.
Right. I think she stayed there. Definitely.
I feel like she definitely stayed there. I don't think she went back, and that's so horrifying, Ari has went on to talk about how he kind of feels like, the women of Horga, the people there, that society, it's almost like a manifestation of her will, almost literally. It's like they were all literally waiting for her. They are all literally there for her. Like when she started speaking their language, like all of a sudden,
Yeah, she.
Like it was meant to be that way.
That was part of the transitions of her. I think the movie really circles around her without, like, circling around her too much, like obviously, but it circles around her. Like she's the her emotions are like the waves of this movie,
Right.
basically. Like, and that I'd say like the second transition, or when she started speaking that language, that's when she was making that transition over. They were basically bringing her over from like saying that you don't have to deal with this pain. Like she's dealing with pain. She can't breathe, anxiety, major trauma, and
Right.
it's like she can kind of give that over in a way, if that makes sense. Like she doesn't have to hold that load on by herself. And she smiled. That's the first time you really seen her smile through the whole movie.
I felt relieved for her, which was
Yeah.
like the ending was so emotionally complex. All the performances were good. Visually, it's unlike any horror film ever made. Again, I think it's the most visually stunning horror film we've ever been given. I think it's like the the satanic version of Wizard of Oz with people.
It's beautiful. And that morbid curiosity makes me, like, I would say right now, if someone was like, you get to test this out, like, I would go. Like, even after what I saw.
It was just insane. Like when that one woman jumped off the cliff, and like the way that he captured the recoil or whatever, where she like springs back and her fucking face has been shattered. Like there's so many horrific images, but like these horrific images are filmed so beautifully and so surreally, and just the color palette is so gorgeous. The location is just like jaw-droppingly beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like something out of the Lord of the Rings. Like it's unbelievable what's going on with the color palette and the cinematography. That's disorienting, you know? And it's so disorienting that when you're watching these horrific images and violence, like it's like your brain is able to process it better, you know? I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like there's a part where they take a mallet and they crush this dude's like skull in, and like it was horrific, but because it was filmed so beautifully, it was I could watch it. You know, I didn't have to feel the need to look away. You know, but that's so weird that like the movie like makes you stare
Right.
at horror.
And Christian was just a prep chicken, like a prep turkey getting ready to be put in the oven.
And not only horror, like horror that like is hard to describe, or if we ever really can. Like there's some really complex horror moments.
Yeah, he's lifting the bar.
Yeah, like when fucking the black dude gets hit in the head and he's on the ground, like.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, and then you see someone like walk up and stare at him, but they're wearing Will Poulter's skin, you know, and fucking Ruben, or whatever that creepy disabled sumbitch's name. It's just like, and I'm just like,
the Christian character. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Christian.
He was literally
Danny.
being prepped, like literally to be put in the oven.
Yeah.
He's been fed this and that to consummate some kind of sexual ritual, and then to be put in the oven, basically.
Yeah.
I seen that as another thing. They're doing different shit to this dude, and he's an idiot, basically.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. He's taking whatever is given to him. Basically, he's not really. And I like how there's other parts. You know how, like, they film a scene where you can see Danny walking into the room, and then you see a mirror, and you see Christian talking from that mirror. They did that a couple of times.
Yeah. So there's a gorgeous scene. This movie is shot so well. What the fuck? The whole film feels like this active nightmare that I could revisit again and again, and I'd have a different interpretation each time, probably, overall. But there's this gorgeous moment where like she comes in and she's like, so you're going to Sweden, and you only see him through a mirror, and I thought like, which is like what you're speaking towards, but like moments like that specifically, it's just like whoa, you know, because like Christian, he feels even more shady and kind of repulsive, and like bro, like why are you being so cold and distant from her? You know, it's interesting that like Ari chose to make him literally like distant.
And the character Danny, I don't know if I would say she was annoying before the tragedy, because those are actually legitimate issues. Like, if you're dealing with a person that you're real close, that's family members talking about suicide and
but
threats.
Even beyond her sister, she does seem to suffer from, like, remember when like a cabinet opened, there were like a bunch of pills, and she grabbed like one bottle of pills?
Ativan.
Like, she does seem to be suffering from like high anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what she's having. Like when she was in Orga. Sorry if I'm fucking up the pronouncing the name of the village, but I'm American. But when she's fucking walking and she's like doing this, like, well, I guess first she's just like, you know, and she does something like this, and she goes down, and she's like, and as soon as she breathes that way, Christian opens the door. There's a lot of weird subliminal, symbolic moments like that going on. Like, what the fuck? When Christian's sitting down and he's like staring at the wall, and what he just so happens to be staring at is like a drawing of like a grizzly bear on fire.
He's looking at himself. He has no idea.
Crazy foreshadowing.
He's so screwed up. He's so messed up.
Easily missable.
He would not even. He couldn't even ponder the thought of that meaning anything, of anything. Nope, none of them really, except for Josh was really into that thesis, which got him killed real quicker.
Right.
Which got him killed real quick than he was supposed to, maybe.
By the way, shout out to Jack Reynor, the guy who played Christian, because he's like trying to be like a director, and he was talking about like his love for film, and it was actually pretty fascinating. So shout out to that dude. And he did a really good job in this film as well, because in real life he's like super Irish. You know, in real life I think Florence is like British or something like that, but that's not her normal accent. Like, the acting is amazing.
Right.
You know? Fucking the man went full frontal nudity.
Full frontal.
Naked. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't have much gripe with this movie at all, to be honest. Seeing it a second time, I was able to sit patiently through the entire movie. May have had to use the bathroom a few times, but granted, I was able to sit without waiting for another moment. It wasn't like I was like, okay, I know this moment's about to happen. I was just, again, experiencing it. Again, there was no, I know this is about to happen type shit. It just was, it just hit me almost, I would say almost harder than the first time.
Yeah, because there's so many like hidden Easter eggs. Like, for example, like when Christian's sitting on the ground and he gets kicked on the side, and he looks and he sees that one girl smiling at him. It's the same bitch who he's fucking at the very end with the ring of creepy naked older women.
Kicked him so hard in the side. Goddamn, Luke Kane kicked to the side.
Like, there's just like, because when I first saw the film, I was just like, you know, okay, this is some random woman. But then when you see it again, it's like, oh my god, it's that one bitch, you know.
The part that gives me chills is when she started speaking their language. I felt like a vibration in my body. I felt like she was transitioning into where she was meant to be.
Yeah.
Or something, or where she was, it was always meant to be that way or something. But even way before she even got there, that was planned. You can see from the beginning of the movie that he's drawing shit. That dude's always drawing something. He's always observing.
Fantasy. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like a horror film. It's like black comedy. It's like a fantasy, kind of in the way of like Pan's Labyrinth, in the way if there wasn't so many monsters, or if any monsters. Like it just, I don't know. Like, we could see a emergence of like, you know, genre mixing in horror films. You know, that could be really interesting. Like a horror film that's like a horror film, but like in the horror film, there's like sci-fi elements and like,
Oh yeah.
you know, Western elements or some shit. Like, you know, we can start seeing some wild shit.
Just
going on.
throw it all in the pot. Why not?
Yeah, well, I think it's better that way. We can probably walk back to the car now, but.
Because he's not going by traditional so-called quote-unquote rules. He's not. There are no rules.
No, like there's like, this movie. I think Sam asked me like which one's more traumatizing, Hereditary or Midsommar, and I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, because Midsommar scared me in ways that I've never been scared before.
Well, I would say I do know.
Movie,
the reason why I say I do know is because, fuck, Hereditary left everybody gone. There was nobody to be left with trauma. So unless you're the person leaving the theater. Midsommar, you get this thought of, you're wondering what the hell happened to her after we leave. Like, we know, we basically speculate that she lives her, this is her new life.
Yeah, well, I think that the scares in Midsommar are even more unorthodox and subversive than in Hereditary, or maybe than any other horror film I've ever seen.
Right.
Because, whoa, it's almost so. The imagery is almost so fucked up that it becomes scary from being so fucked up. Like, it's almost scary because it's almost like too disturbing at times. It's very dark, and there's times where Christian and Danny will be talking and there's silence, but then I'll be like, fuck, I'm feeling really uncomfortable, and then I'll think about it and I'll be like, wait, is there a fucking sinister like bass line or some kind of sub-bassy noises going on, you know, that like Ari's using against me? Because Ari has stated that, like, you know, there's certain audio cues that they used in Hereditary that hopefully would make you feel sick and shit. It's like, what the fuck? That's so weird. So sometimes I'd be watching them have a conversation. I'm like, wait, is it silent right now, or is there like a really wicked bass line that you could just barely hear? You know, like something evil.
Almost binaural to a certain extent.
Yeah. With binaural beats or whatever the fuck.
Right.
It's a clean 10 out of 10, man. That image of her in that flower gown, like crying out when she's walking forward, right?
Right.
And that yellow triangle pyramid temple is burning in the background.
That was a fantasy type screenshot right there.
Yeah, because like it reminded me of a scene that I love so much out of Seven Samurai from 1954. Fans know what scene I'm talking about,
right?
Obviously, but it reminds me of very similar to that scene where it's like, holy shit, she's actually moving past, like that's actually burning. She's actually there. The environment's not CGI. Like it, you know, it's like happening. It makes the moment more immersive because it's really happening.
Right.
You know? It looks real because it is real. Jesus Christ. I almost don't even know which one's a better movie, Hereditary or Midsommar.
I gotta go with Midsommar. Yeah,
I would definitely say that if it's a question of which film is more scary, I think I would say Hereditary. If it's a question of like what's the better movie, I'm kind of leaning to Midsommar. And Midsommar is like Synecdoche, New York level ambitious, and it's a horror film.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of reminds me. of what's my boy's name? Charlie Kaufman, right?
Right.
Except like where it's like Charlie Kaufman is quiet, Ari is bloody, disturbing, and screaming. But watch out for my license plate. But, I don't know. It was hard for me to talk about this when I first saw it because like I've never seen and still have never seen anything like that before. So it's hard to describe. I need to spend time with this story, you know. And it's very funny too. You know, that's another weird thing. Like it's legitimately funny. There's some long, like oneers, like scenes that are done in one take. There's so many of them. Like when they get to the, like remember that one upside down shot, you know, which was insane. But this upside down drone shot, and then like they go to the field and start tripping. Like okay, so like when they first get to that field, there's this one take that just keeps going and going and going. Ari is like drifting the camera. Just butter smooth, so just like almost impossibly so, and like You know, we're gliding over here, we're gliding over there. It's like we're with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie's just so disorienting when there's like so many scenes that like just go on and on and on, and it's like we're watching theater almost. And like, yeah, I think like these performers are selling the shit out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, good God, I just can't. I mean, the movie's just so horrifying to me. Like when Christian walks through the doors, and like, you know, there's that ring of naked women, and there's that one chick laying on the ground. That one dude that has that creepy mask, you know. I don't know. Oh, and I think this is the first movie I've ever seen to capture a trip accurately from psychedelic drugs. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Because when they were tripping on mushrooms at the very beginning, and when they were just tripping throughout the film, not only is it accurate visually speaking, but like it is stunning. Okay, like seeing the wormhole in Interstellar, stunning. Like it's like stunning. You know what I mean? Like this movie is like watching this movie is equivalent to like taking a hallucinogenic drug.
There's also a lot of detail to small things like wordings. Like if you pay attention to certain words that they use, like let's say how you could tell Christian's being an asshole, how you could tell he's not being sincere with things. Like you ever heard somebody say like when you ask them a question, you're being like serious, but you really didn't know. Let's say, okay, I didn't know that tree was green. They're like, hey, is that tree green the whole time? They're like, well, I mean, he kept saying that.
Yeah, there's so many moments where he was being inauthentic.
Yeah.
Like for example, something happened where she said something like, or they were talking about Josh, and he was like, you know, I just want you guys to understand, not only do we not associate with Josh, but like, I wish I'd never met the fucking guy.
He might as well said.
And when he said that shit, me and Danny were like, what?
Nigga, what the fuck? You just flip like that real quick?
He kept flipping. Bitch ass dude.
Bitch ass dude.
Bitch ass. There's a bitch ass dude right there, literally. Without exaggeration, who the fuck was that bitch ass dude?
I don't know. Somebody wants to
moving
get
on.
knocked out.
Moving on. Anyway,
real quick.
it just cut to us just violently.
quick beat down.
Murdering. But yeah, I'm in love with this film. It I don't know. I just get lost in it, you know, kind of like Upstream Color. Like I just get lost in it, you know. And I look forward to getting lost in it more. Like just the village that he built is stunning. The interiors are stunning. The amount of detail on the interiors to these rooms, these sets, is not only unusual, but just like a breath of fresh air, man. Like there's a scene at the very beginning where like Florence and Jack are talking, and like if you look at the wall beyond them, like the amount of information there is staggering. Like from their personal pictures to really abstract art, but it all can't be random, obviously. So it's just like whoa! It's like the amount of time that
definitely
Ari,
not random.
The amount of time that Ari must have poured into these characters' lives and world is just pretty.
When he's interviewed, it's almost like he feel like he didn't do as big as a. It feel like it's not a big deal to him as it is to us.
Right.
It's just like, well, you know, I made these films. I got a couple more scripts. He made a
world. He didn't make a film. He made a world, like a cinematic world.
Right.
You know, like another cinematic reality. You know, the strange breathing patterns in the film. I think there's a lot of context to that that's, you know, hidden. It's probably the same bitch ass dude, but you know, the all the rituals are like I have so many questions about and curiosities, and I love the film, man.
Loved it.
That one part where that chick was on top of the cliff and she was about to jump, and she looks down and she looks at us, and then we see like she's looking at Danny.
Wow.
Like there's just like almost indescribably creepy, otherworldly moments in this film. You know?
It's crazy, dude.
I don't know. Any final thoughts? Because I'm getting hungry. That's why I said it's perfect to do this now. You know?
Getting hungry as well, but the movie again is I think
what would you rate the film?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
It's a cinematic original.
It just made the horror genre that much more brighter.
It just made them have to pull their pants up. They got to pull their pants up. They got to the bar is lifted heavily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people like Jordan Peele, like you said, they pay a lot of like humbleness to this film.
Yeah, Jordan Peele said that this is the most idyllic, horror masterpiece all time. You know, dethroning any past versions of The Wicker Man, anything similar.
Hell yeah.
And I agree, actually. Fuck.
Hell yeah.
I agree. When it comes to this kind of imagery, like I get that some people get lost in the minutia of like, oh my gosh, like this film is so similar to blah 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 film. It's so similar to this film. It's like I feel what you're saying with the surface level stuff, but like when you look past the fact that it's in ways similar to Wicker Man, like the execution of the story is what I care about. And the execution of the story and the results of that is like otherworldly to me. And to me, it announces that Ari is like a new cinematic master.
And it stepped his footprint on a planet of filmmaking. His footprint has been cemented right now. He just made his mark. You heard him. He's here. Anything he makes next.
Even if you didn't like the film, motherfucker, you felt something.
If you didn't like the film, you cannot say that it's not a cinematic, beautiful piece. Whether you liked it, whether you thought it was disturbing, or
bro, the ending scene where like, they're bringing in these corpses and they're like dressed as dolls. And it further cements the fact that like pretty much everybody got skinned, and like the room has these creepy symbols on it, and like Christian's put inside of he's wearing a bear suit, but it's like a bear that they just emptied, and fucking they light on fire. Those two guys are burning alive in there, screaming like it. Everybody outside watching is they're like acting out pain, like in sync with each other.
Yeah.
So everybody outside's like, ah!
It's like to them they're trying.
You know how creepy that was?
It's like they're trying to spread it out within each other, like throughout each other, so they don't have to, I guess, hold it in within themselves, even though they're fucking on fire. And that shit don't mean shit while they're in that yellow pyramid house, but that's like their lore, their thing. They share everything, pain.
Yeah, like
joy.
Ari has said that, like, he feels like the ending. He feels like the ending of Hereditary is where the movie Hereditary loses his mind.
Oh yeah.
And like similarly with Midsommar, I feel like the ending of Midsommar, it just completely loses his fucking mind, and then we're just in a nightmare. And I loved it. Goddamn, it's very David Lynch like,
But Danny got her mind kind of reconstructed as the movie goes.
Yeah. I almost see the movie as like just a giant, bizarre therapy session for Danny, and like a rediscovery of family and maybe in the final moments self-love, maybe. But because she finally smiled. People usually only smile if they're at peace with themselves.
Yeah. So it may look horrifying from the outside. May look horrifying to us, but to her there was a rebirth that happened.
Right. But yeah, it's a new masterpiece. I think I don't know that there's anything else that I particularly need to add. I mean, it's just the score is absolutely out of this world. You know.
Oh yeah.
That song. That would happen. But the song that's playing when those two people jump off the cliff, you know,
Amazing.
with the mallets, like that song is probably my favorite in the whole film. There's also a song called. What's going on?
What's going on? Grand Theft Auto over here?
Yeah, it's getting too loud out here. But there's a song called "The House That Orga Built," and it's like probably my second favorite song. And then Orgo Land or whatever. The song that's playing when like the camera's upside down, that real droney, like you know. Soundtrack is fantastic, just as good as the film.
Fire Temple is one I can listen to before I go to sleep, 'cause it's like 12 minutes long.
Right, we should get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, folks. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Sorry, folks, about the Grand Theft Auto as...
Alright, Jesus Christ, I can't even hear myself talk. But, basically, I love the film. New masterpiece. Me and Fail Whale, we might have to do like a revisited review or something like this. Because for real, I think this is like one of the horror greats. Like, I think this is like something we're gonna look back in time and be like, yo, fucking Midsommar really disrupted the genre, you know. But anyways, I think that's all I got. There's like people dying out there,
right.
So like there's people being murdered around us. So we're on peace.
St. Louis.
But I love the film.
Thought it was incredible.
You know what I'm saying?
Again, second time, loved it.
You know, no big deal. Shit.